don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot. You think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Shadowing is one of the best techniques, if not the best one, to improve your English fast, but only if you do it right. In this video, I share with you how shadowing improved my English speaking, how I practice shadowing, and the best resources to start shadowing in English today. First, what is shadowing? Shadowing basically means you listen to a native speaker and try to mimic their way of speaking as much as you can. This improves your listening, speaking, and pronunciation all at once. Why did I start practicing shadowing? I remember when I started learning English about 1.5 years ago, I could understand a little bit of English. But when I opened my mouth to speak, total disaster. I couldn't even introduce myself properly in an important interview in English. It was an interview for a tech job. I did very well in the technical part related to my job. However, I got rejected because of my English. That day, I made a decision. I take English more seriously and learn to speak it no matter what. But I had a huge problem. I had no time for studying. I have my job, my family, and tons of other responsibilities. Yet I said, I'll do it even for just 15 minutes a day, even if it takes me years. Because I know slow and steady always wins. And 15 minutes a day is definitely better than nothing. I won't wait until I have time, because if you're getting older like me, you most probably won't. If you're a student, you have a little bit more time. Use it. 15 minutes a day is definitely not a long time for language learning, so I had to find an efficient way to do it. The best method I found was shadowing. I searched on YouTube and found this channel, Easy English Practice. I followed their system. 1-minute conversation, listening to it a few times, looking up any words I didn't know, and after that, practice shadowing. Honestly, after weeks, not even months, I started to see some progress. I started to speak a little bit of English. After that, because I loved English, I added more time to that 15-minute shadowing routine. But shadowing was the jump start that I needed first. So if you don't have much time, shadowing, in my humble opinion, is the most efficient way to improve your English, even if you do it for just 15 minutes a day. Well, now I'm not only practicing shadowing, I listen to English daily, I read daily, I practice speaking, and so on. Shadowing alone is not enough, but it's a must in your English learning routine. Now I want to show you how I practice shadowing. But before that, I want to address some of the mistakes that most people make when they practice. Mistake number 1. Choosing the wrong material. The material you use for shadowing is as important as the practice itself. If the content is too difficult, you won't get a lot out of it. You'll struggle to understand the conversation, you'll start blaming yourself, and you'll think you're not good. But it's not you. It's just the wrong material. It's just the wrong content. Doesn't mean that the material for shadowing should be too easy. Not at all. If it's too easy, you won't be challenged enough. You won't learn anything new. You won't improve. So what should the right content look like? It should be in the middle. Not too easy and not too hard. You should understand around 80 to 90% of what you shadow. That's the sweet spot. Mistake number 2. No conscious effort. People often shadow passively, just repeating words without thinking about the meaning, structure, or emotional tone of the sentence. You need to listen carefully first. Rewind the parts you don't understand. Listen actively and shadow actively. Mistake number 3. Not recording yourself. Getting feedback about your mistakes is most probably the missing piece, especially if you're learning by yourself. That's why you should record yourself and watch it back later. Without listening to your own recordings, you can't hear your mistakes. Mistake number 4. Not enough repetition. If you just repeat the sentence once and then go to the next one and the next one, just because it feels like progress, you miss the point of shadowing. Repeat the same sentence over and over again until you feel comfortable when you say it. Repeat the same video over a few days. Repetition in language learning is important. And remember, it's not about quantity here, it's about quality. How I practice shadowing. Now let me show you how I practice shadowing to actually improve my English. First, I listen to the video a few times before shadowing. I listen first without subtitles, I rewind and I repeat the sentences that I couldn't understand a few times and do my best to catch every single word. Finally, I turn the subtitles on to verify what I guessed and to check what I missed. Second, I look up the unknown words. I make sure I understand the conversation perfectly. Third, I start doing shadowing in two different ways. First method, listen, pause, and copy. I listen to one sentence, pause the video, and try to repeat it exactly as I heard it. I'm not just repeating it in my way of speaking, using the same pronunciation patterns I'm used to. I try to copy the native speaker as much as I can. If the speaker shouts, I shout. If they laugh, I laugh too. It's not just repeating, it's copying and mimicking. I repeat the same sentence a few times until I feel I can say it comfortably and effortlessly.
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work?
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work? Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work?
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going into work?
Do you know what would happen if I suddenly decided to stop going to work?
A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up.
A business big enough that it could be listed in the NASDAQ goes belly up. A business big enough that it could be a business big enough that it could be listed in the NASDAQ goes belly up. A business big enough that it could be listed in the NASDAQ goes belly up.
Into work. A business big enough that it could be listed on the NASDAQ goes belly up.
A business big enough that it could be listed in the NASDAQ goes belly up. Second method, echo shadowing. Now I repeat what I hear, trying to match the native speaker as much as I can, but without pausing the video. I'll be like an echo. I say what I hear instantly. If you just repeat the sentence once and then go to the next one and the next one, there is maybe less than a second delay between the speaker's voice and my voice. That's why I call it echo shadowing, because you'll become like an echo. To make it even more fun and more challenging, I keep repeating some parts until I can speak at the same time as the native speaker. No delay at all.
Don't know who you're talking to, so let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot. You think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
This way, I've practiced listening, learned new words, and practiced shadowing. I don't stop here. Now it's time for the interesting part. I don't practice English with a teacher, so I try to identify my mistakes and work on them deliberately. I often record myself and watch it back later to notice my mistakes and get feedback. I want you also to try this. Record yourself shadowing on day 1, then do it again after 30 days, but with the exact same video. The difference will blow your mind. Best resources for shadowing. Working on your listening skills is the first step to improve your speaking. You can improve your listening by listening to an audiobook for free for 30 days. Just sign up for free using my link in the description, and you'll get 1 month free on audible.com. The material you use for shadowing is important, so I won't leave you without resources. As I told you, the video you're watching for shadowing should be a little bit challenging, but also not too difficult. Here are the best YouTube channels for shadowing for beginners. This list is for intermediate level, and this list of channels is for advanced learners. Check the description below for the links. Thank you for watching. See you in a future video. Bye bye.